most people in Silicon Valley have not experienced what it is like to be in a dying industry. For one, I think people were happy that there were young people choosing to leave because it's like, it was a constraining environment. It was like, okay, great. Like, we don't have to fire this person now. It's like, it was really, really bad. I can't stress. There were these things called Cakings. We even had a name for it. And it's any time that someone was forced to take a buyout or forced to leave, they would bring in a cake. They would wheel in cakes. And sometimes like on Fridays, there would be like just cakes going across the newsroom and people crying and like people celebrating all these great colleagues who some of them were like, winners of the Pulitzer Prize. These are not people who should be fired, but it was such a bad ecosystem. So no one really said anything. They were just like, okay, at least you got out. It's like you found a life raft. That's great. I will say like 6 months before I left, my editor took me to lunch. This is like great management. She's like, it'll be painful for you to leave. Like, it'll be painful to have someone who, I was one of the younger people on the team. I worked 7 days a week. Sometimes I would write 3 stories in the section and they were just bleeding people. She's like, it will be painful, but you are young enough to do something new with your life. And I'm forever grateful to her for like saying, it wasn't you're bad at your job. It's actually, I was reflecting on this recently that maybe 3 years ago, we went out to drinks. I visited the new improved newsroom and it was this, now it's marble columns and Jeff Bezos is
the Amazon funded newsroom.
Yeah, Amazon funded newsroom. And we went out for drinks and she's like, you were good, but you could have been great. And it like sort of brought me to tears. I was like, wow, like she actually told me I should leave because she saw what was happening. Probably before I actually realized it. It's like young journalists all will think they're going to be like the next Bob Woodward. But I think, why did I go? It's like, well, if you're going to start over from scratch, in some ways, it's like, you're going to start over from scratch. Why not go to California? It's like, that's always been sort of the American dream is move west and find something new. But it really was, it's like, okay, like I need to understand this tech thing. And I hadn't been exposed to the culture, but I didn't have a reaction that it was a bad thing. I had a reaction more that it was the future and the biggest story of our time.